Well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, all around the world. It is about 9:30 in Nassau, Bahamas, and I am delighted to take track and field legend, and he is none other than Nathaniel McKinney, a track and field legend. We call him Nate. How are you today, Nate?
Doing awesome. Thank you for having me on your show, and I appreciate you.
Oh, that's what it's all about. Now, what school did you attend in the Bahamas?
Well, I attended C.R. Walker Senior High School, located on Market Street. Everybody know that location, very monumental, next to St. Agnes Church.
But I am going to ask you something. Who was C.R. Walker?
Well, Dr. Walker, basically, as I could recall, had the first hotel and launch where a lot of patriots and also a lot of historians came, like Martin Luther, King Jr., and a lot of popular bands during that time came to his hotel, and they used to have a lot of launch and music and theatricals and so forth. Cabaret.
Well, he studied medicine, I think in the Carolinas, and brought his wife home. He became a parliamentarian in the Bahamas, and his wife was a teacher and worked along with him. Now, I thought that I was just checking you to see what you know, because people in the school system never know anything about the people who were before. I see your first international competition was at the Senior Central American and Caribbean Championship in 2003 in St. George's, Grenada. Who was on that team? Your very first one.
Bringing back memories. We would have had Dennis Darlin, Chris Brown, and then we had Avad Monka didn't make that meet, so Carl Oliver would have been on that relay team, and we won a gold that year.
Well, how did you make out? Well, you want to go. You want to go.
Yeah, basically.
How did you feel? How did the team feel?
How the team felt?
Yes.
Well, a game like CAC games, you always expect to win those games. The major championships were the main focus. But at those championships, you always want to win those games. So we were down. I was probably, matter of fact, as I can recall, I was in fourth place. Time as I got on the 100 meter, on the 300 meter mark of the first curve. I ran down everybody and brought it in first and in Grenada. The crowd was very receptive to us and celebrating and so forth. The locals were making a whole lot of noise.
Well, let me ask you about this. Moving on to Paris, France, for the World Championships, who were the members of your team?
The entire members of the team, I can say Debbie Ferguson. We had Tony Williams.
In terms of your team.
Oh yeah, we had Chris Brown, no other fireman Chris Brown, Avad Monka, Troy. No, not Troy. Carl Oliver, Tim Tiger Long as a coordinator, relay coordinator, and potential possibility that he would run if someone get hurt. Then we had Andre Williams.
Oh yes.
Bahama, and myself was there.
Well, how did you feel? No, we're talking about France now. We're talking about France.
Paris, yes.
Yeah, Paris, yes.
But basically CAC games. The CAC games was preparation for fitness in terms of where the relay team would have been at. We were very confident going into those games. As I can recall, I was very overweight in terms of not getting the type of climate that I wanted. Being acclimated to the cold weather in Paris was kind of difficult for me. But for most part, I was ready to run. Just a little bit inexperienced on the international level in terms of I was moving too fast on the back stretch. Needed to more relax and save a lot more energy coming in. But we could have done much better. I think the team really needed Avad Monka to be. No, sorry, Avad was there. The team really needed at least one more experienced leg, or perhaps a better start of the race for positioning. But I think the team did okay.
Well, let me ask about moving on to Athens now, Greece, the Olympics, 2004. Who were the members of the team and how did they fare?
We had Dennis Dallin again. We had at this time we had Dennis Dallin. Avad didn't come to Athens. Had he came to Athens, we would have won a medal. Silver would have been the least medal, the least in getting a medal. Avad didn't come to Athens. We really needed that leg. And then we had Andre Williams. And then we had Aaron Clare. He went to C.C. Sweeten High School and Dickinson College. And we had Chris Brown and then Dennis Dallin, of course, again.
Well, let me say this. You know, that Aaron Clare. I never ever knew who Aaron Clare was. I know all the big stars, but something unusual happened with the team. Tell us about it.
Basically, all at the end of the day, whether it's the NBA, NFL, or anything would consider to be team sports, we all need coaches. So the coaching staff and the management team made a decision that they wanted Dennis Dallin to run first leg. I was not comfortable with the decision that the coaching staffs had made at that time, because I felt like, we got to go with the strengths of the runners, and also we got to be able to listen as a team cohesively to seal the deal. Perhaps it went the other way. We would have if Dennis Dallin had run. I knew for sure that we would have medal at Athens. So they had a meeting, and they Sidney Cartwright had a meeting. Junior had a meeting and wanted to express himself to Dennis Dallin. Behind the scenes, it was chaotic. And Dennis, said he's not running for his leg. And the statement, as Stan says, that hey, if he had to run for his leg, he's not running. But it was not intentionally said. It was just out of emotions, which I understood. I told him, I run any leg. Give me the fifth leg, sixth leg, whatever leg it is. So Sidney Cartwright Jr. said, hey, be quiet, boy. You know I'm talking to you.
Nate, what is so significant? Sidney Cartwright was the one we ran very well at the Nationals in the Bahamas. And I think when we went, it may have been Cuba or someplace else. Dennis was the one that when he finished his leg, he would lie on the ground like he was dead. So I always wondered why Sidney did that. But that's a topic for another discussion. Your thoughts?
Well, basically, what we have when we have runners basically telling you certain comfortable situations where they're not comfortable and so forth. Either it's your job to bring it out the athlete, or try to compromise and find another way or method to kind of like fix it. So the responsibility at the end of the day always lies in the coaching staff, whether you be in the player. But had Dennis had ran his leg, second leg, which he likes to run off of somebody. So that's how he he builds his energy and feel better. And at the time, first leg was the hardest leg ever to run because you're scrutinized for the relay team. Perhaps you were not in the top 4 or 3 slots, so you automatically would be exposed running first leg. I called first leg TV time. So I was like, hey, these guys want to go on TV. Let me get on TV. I want to be on TV. They don't want
That's
TV
right.
time. I want a TV time. So that trend followed the entire relay team, and then you would have seen guys like Demetrius, Pinder, and the rest of the crew like wanted to run first leg because I felt like I opened up that door for guys just to run first leg because of the pressure and being at the games was never pressure for me. It was always the pressure from back home in the inner city, right around my friends where the conversation starts. So I knew that I was ready to run, but I just wanted some TV time. I was tired of being out the camera.
Yeah. Well, what college did you attend after going to the United States? And who was your coach?
Yeah, so I went to St. Augustine's College, Raleigh, North Carolina, under Coach George Williams. That was my coach at the time. We have a beautiful relationship now, but the reality of me going off to college, I just was a walk on guy, being number one athlete in the Bahamas at the time. There was no scholarships awarded to me. However, the process took place. I just said to myself, I go into college, and I told others that I was going to college, and I end up in Raleigh, North Carolina. They sent a letter to, at the time, Cynthia Mother Pratt would have received all of the letters and so forth from colleges from St. Augustine's College in reference to her ties with that university at that college at the time. And I got the I-20. And me not knowing anything about college, I thought that this was actually a scholarship. And I went to St. Augustine's College, Raleigh, North Carolina, by myself. I never flew at the time by myself. Yes, I have, but not connecting flights. So finally, I got there. And when I met Coach Williams' pup, first thing he called me was a jackass. Because
that's one of my best friends. Whenever we travel, I look forward to connecting with him. And he plans to go to Eugene, Oregon for the World Championship.
But in actuality, Coach Williams didn't know me, and I didn't know Coach Williams. But I told him some story, like I met him before, which I wasn't telling the truth. And he said he didn't want me. He wanted Chris Brown, but the Bahamas didn't send him Chris Brown. They sent him a jackass.
Yeah. What are you doing now? I'm sure that at your young age, I'm sure that you didn't. You can't live on what you made while you were running. So what are you doing now?
In reference to work, I work at the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation in the Sports Tourism Department. I played a role a while ago, actually a few months ago at the World Expo 2020 in Dubai. So I was there as a representative for the Bahamas. I played as a pavilion host, did a little technical stuff in the pavilion, fixing the screens, also visiting the guests, was the meet and greet, being a liaison officer, also playing pavilion host and tour guide. So basically, I created a sketch, more so like choreograph and dance for those who came in the pavilion, and also speaking to the arts that I gravitated to when I saw it. It melted my heart that I really like history like yourself. So I just took it and ran with it, and it was exciting and energetic, and the people of the UAE were very receptive to it. They didn't hesitate to ask for information, and it was an experience.
So let me mention this. I was told by my next door neighbor that you were the key person from the Ministry of Tourism. Everybody it seems as though you love your career. And I was told by my next door neighbor, he is the architect of the whole thing, and he has been in Dubai forever and ever. And I think he came out of Dubai. The last Baham is coming out of Dubai. And it seems that you love your career. People in somebody in North Jamaica, one of the other Caribbean islands, had to sit and listen to you. Can you tell the world the friendship you enjoyed in track and field as a legend?
Well, God is good, and I appreciate Him for that. As you can see, I saw Hawk just posted my personal best was 45.6 in the 400. God is so good for a guy just to run 45.6 in the 400 and make the Olympic team, make the World Relays team. The world team come out as silver medalists and bronze medalists and a finalist in the 400. 4x4 is unheard of, but in actuality, I always got hurt every year. So leading up to me running fast, I got hurt every year. Every games I went to was hurt, and God has always been there for me, and I always smile because I say, how did I make the team? But my relay split didn't look like a 45 runner. I always ran 44 seconds, and also on the first leg running 44 seconds. So track and field was just a basically a segue for other doors to be open, and also for relationship, for having favor, and being able to be on the show is also favor, and just meeting people and traveling the world, and more so what track and field did for me, it gave me an education as well as it gave me a platform to speak to the inner city kids through my organization Dream Chasers. So that's my pet peeves. But being able just to change my mind and vision and the view on life, and also being a team player, not only to track and field, but to the world, just being a people's person like we do in track and field.
Well, that's powerful, as Rodney would say. You know what I'm talking about. But I saw you on our television station, the Bahamas ZNS station, and they were interviewing you concerning riding a horse. How did you enjoy it?
Yeah, so basically, I grew up riding horse in Surrey from when I was 4 years old, and kind of like removing the horses out the stable and taking them on the beach. Probably might only been like 9 years old, taking the horse and going on the beach, and without anyone's permission. We all do it. We're all in cahoots, and I just love horses. That's my passion. I'm a caretaker of horses voluntarily, buying food and feed out of my own pocket for other stables, being able to give new ideas and business ideas and to horse stable owners during the recession for allowing the kids to ride through the community, or even having little small programs to as give back and just to feed the horses. But I really love horses. That's my thing.
Well, do you know that you have a similarity with the person who anchored the London Games? And who is he? Live around the corner from you? Ramon Miller.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yes.
What I'm saying is that you're living this close enough to one another, and you both of you give. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. When you come up on the system through Pancho, Frank Raman, also a track athlete and coach, and a scholar. When you come up on the programs where everything was free, unlike my programs, I don't like to charge anybody for anything. So it's very hard for me to ask a parent for monies. It's very hard to do that. So try to do a lot of give back.
It's a different day, though. It's a different day. So let me ask you this. What are your thoughts of where the Heyman track and field has ascended? And where can we go?
The only place
But
we can go.
by the way, just let me say this. You know what is so significantly happening today in Doha?
Help me out.
In Doha is Shawnee running and Anthony running, and I guess a number of other people. But Doha is where Shawnee did so well. But the lady from Nigeria, I think it is, she was disqualified. There was no way she could have run all those rounds and everything and do well. So Shawnee, in the last 2 years or so, she has done so well. And it is my belief that she and Stevie Gardner have the opportunity in the next 3 years of breaking the world records. Your thoughts?
In terms of the women's 400 record being broken, it's going to take a whole lot of work. But Stephen Gardner, I think, is
but records are made to be broken.
Yeah, but the reality is, I feel like Stephen Gardner is the closest person to breaking a record. Shawnee actually is a veteran now. When you really look at it, she's actually a veteran now.
Stevie is a baby to her.
She's been around a lot much longer than Stephen Gardner. So I feel like in my spirit that she's not gonna compete for a world record. She's gonna compete to win, because being at that level, she's been on the stage for so long, she just needs to win. But in terms of Stephen Gardner, he can do something special this year. He definitely can.
Well, any other thoughts that you may have missed?
Basically, when it comes to track and field in the Bahamas, not to negate where you must not negate where you came from and what started it all. The grassroots athletes, we really have to search deeply for them in terms of scholarship, in terms of recruitment, in terms of nurturing, also partnering with mega companies, the corporate world. I don't put too much screen on government because I understand the concept and the ideology behind persons blaming the government, but we have to take responsibility for our at-risk kids that has the potential of being the next Shawnee, the next Nathaniel McKinney, the next Stephen Gardner, the next Chris Brown, because you can understand the most challenging athletes, challenging kids in their youth are the best athletes. And I'm a testimony of being just that. And I've seen tons and tons of other athletes from over the hill, from Miami, Northwest Express, some of my friends, Bashawn Jackson, not so much of a troubling lifestyle, but in a troubling environment. And when you put them on the track, they bring out the best of their potential. So we need to search even further for free coaching, help, support, aid of grassroots athletes coming from the inner city and so forth. Those are less fortunate, and bringing them around to the arena to help them propel the sport even further than where we could be.
I actually really believe in that. But when we talk about the government and money, the corporate people in the Bahamas have money. But I am a salesman and I know what I do. All you have to do is excite people about track and field and they will give the money. Plenty of people in the Bahamas have money. They are billionaires in the Bahamas. And I leave that just like that. So thank you ever so much, my brother. And we'll see you again.
Yeah, thank you for this. Is a nice setup. I love it. It's new, and I like the direction where you're going. And God bless you, and keep up.
Thank you again. Bye now.
Okay.